Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Rose, and this is my channel, Retirement Recharged. And today I want to share with you 3 of the most pivotal points in my 10 years of retirement that kind of reshaped and recharged my retirement. I retired, as I said, 10 years ago, and right after retiring, within 2 weeks, we made a major move from Arizona to Florida. I don't recommend that for anyone to make that great of a change right after you retire. I had 2 weeks of not even resting. I got to sleep in, but we were in the middle of packing and trying to make sure we had everything ready for the movers. So it really didn't feel like retirement, although it didn't feel like working either. So I was grateful for that. But we moved from Arizona to Florida, and we purchased a home that we intended to remodel mostly ourselves. So we have always done DIY, and that was our intent to do to this home that we purchased in Florida as well. So as you can imagine, for the first 2-3 months, we were going through the planning stages of what we wanted to do to the home. We were interviewing contractors. So we had people coming in and out. We had appointments we had to keep. We had to finalize drawings. We had to finalize finishes. And then we got into the mud of it, where we were actually in the DIY and living in that home at the same time. And this was a total gut job. So we had boxes everywhere. We were living in different portions of the house. At first we were living in the living room because we wanted to have the bedroom done. And then we moved into the bedroom and had the rest of the house done. So we were without a functioning house probably for a good, I would say, 8 months of the first years of retirement. So again, it didn't really feel like retirement. It felt like we were still kind of working. So as I said, we did a lot of the DIY ourselves, and that afforded us the opportunity to save a lot of money because we knew how to do basic electrical, plumbing, drywall. We hired people to do the major things, and also to put in a new AC unit or things like that. It was way beyond our scope of expertise, or I wouldn't even call it expertise, but just jack of all trades, basically. So we hired people to come in and do certain things for us. And by the time we got done with our home, it was a good 5 years before we could call it finished. And this was interior and exterior. So the first 5 years, we were on the go. We were interacting with people, having people come in and out of our home. And so I wouldn't really call that a way to enjoy retirement. Like I said, it was nice not having to wake up to an alarm clock that you had to get up early, go to work. You had someone telling you what to do all day, and your whole day, every minute of your day was scheduled. This was more relaxing in that we made appointments that we wanted to make. We got up when we wanted to get up. We didn't want to get up early, so nothing really happened till like 10-ish. So we were in more control that way. So it was kind of like easing into retirement. But again, the first 5 years was all surrounding that. So we all of our energy went into making that home what we wanted it to be, and with all intention of staying there. However, the second most important thing that happened was, or pivotal thing, was my son advised us that we were going to be grandparents. And having the desire to be an integral part of my grandchildren's lives, we made the decision to sell the beach house that we just purchased and just remodeled and moved back to Arizona. So we relocated back to Arizona. Again, that's a big change, but it was kind of a reset, what I thought would be a reset for retirement, because we could go back to Arizona where we had friends, we knew our way around, we had contacts for different things, and the biggest decision we had to make was, where do we want to live? Prior to moving to Florida before our retirement, we lived in a multi-generational typical neighborhood. And we had determined that we were ready to embrace the 55 plus lifestyle. So we started looking at the active adult communities that were in the area of Arizona that we wanted to live in, which was the Valley. So we found the perfect place, we thought, for us, which was the northwest part of the Valley in Arizona. And it was more in the desert, so there wasn't a lot of development around it supporting the homes in the community there. And there was just basically one big community in which the 55 plus active adult community was placed within that community. So it wasn't a sole supportive community for 55 plus retired citizens. It was placed within a multi-generational typical neighborhood. So we decided that that's where we wanted to live because we didn't want to be completely removed from families and being able to interact with families, but we wanted to be the immediate surrounding area to be seniors who were in the same stage of life that we were in, the same phase of life that we were in. And we thought an active adult community would best fit that because we weren't ready to just sit back and retire like our parents' retirement. My parents lived in a 55 plus mobile home park, but their active part was self-made, self-directed, which works for a lot of people and it works for my parents. But we wanted more of an active lifestyle that was more of a coordinated social event type of thing. So we focused on an active adult community that was still being built out, and we looked at both existing homes that were for sale and new builds and decided that that was the place for us. Now, the sad part is that was right when COVID hit. Right when we're ready to purchase a home is when the lockdown happened. So it was really difficult to get into homes, to schedule times to see homes. People didn't want, strangers traipsing through their home, touching things, because there was a real fear of that. And especially in the senior community, the fear was even heightened because, COVID affected seniors and newborns more so than the general population. So there was that real fear out there. But people had their homes for sale. They had to sell because they had places they had to go. They were relocating or downsizing. So you kind of had to navigate that. And within that navigation came some restrictions. There weren't as many homes to see on one day. You couldn't just go out and see a bunch of homes. You saw a home on a scheduled time, and then maybe you didn't see another home for a couple days, and you had to kind of move fast because people were purchasing because they don't have the time to wait. They don't have the time to set up all these appointments. So you kind of had to get what you could get. It probably wasn't the home we would have picked if we had the time to actually view homes and narrow the criteria down to what we really wanted that would fit what we want. Now, the home we ended up purchasing, it's okay. It's what we're functioning in now for the second 5 years of my 10 years of retirement. It's bigger than what we would have wanted, but it fit what we needed at the time, and we're making it work. And so, we're happy with it. We've done slight little upgrades, but not a major remodel at all. But that change of the first couple years of retirement was extremely difficult for the nation, for the world. But speaking from my experience only, we checked into a active retirement community because it had social events, it had amenities. This place had a golf course, it had 2 clubhouses, it had restaurants on site, it had sports leagues like pickleball and cornhole and bocce ball. It had and tennis. It had clubs that you could join, from quilting to billiards to you could do a STEM. They had a STEM club. So you had ways to stay active. They also had a fitness center, 2 fitness centers, and they had coordinated fitness events such as water aerobics. They had yoga, sound bowls. They had, you name it, they had it. But because it was COVID, none of that was available. So we moved into a place that we thought was going to help us stay active, and there was nothing. You couldn't even go outside and see anybody. People were staying in their homes. People were, having groceries come out to the car, so you weren't even in the grocery stores. There weren't restaurants open, so you would order your food, go pick it up, bring it home. So that social interaction that we craved, that we wanted, it wasn't available. And a lot of people have that story, but to us it was unexpected, obviously, for everybody. The best part about COVID for me personally was my grandson. My grandson was born, and we were able to stay in our little bubble of my children and their grandson, and just go see him every day, babysit him, uh, look out for him and my family. And that was the saving grace, because the 5 years we were in Florida, we didn't have that interaction with my kids. But coming back here, we had that again. And that was what got us through it, family. And I wouldn't say friends as much, because we didn't have friends. We were gone for 5 years. Most of our friends were people we worked with. And so we lost touch, obviously. But coming back, we weren't able to make friends, which is one of the big intentions of moving here, is to start a new friend group. And we didn't have that. But thank goodness we had our family and, of course, a new baby, which brings so much joy to your life and so much purpose and satisfaction. So that got me through that. Once the restrictions lifted, then we were able to really see what the community had to offer us. And that was such a blessing for us. I know it's not for everybody. There's a lot of retirees that don't want that self-directed, or they want the self-directed. They don't want that interactive social coordination by lifestyle coordinators. But that's what we were hoping to have. And once everything started to open up, I mean, the first thing was like outdoor sports. So we had pickleball, which we had never played before, but that's one of the things we embraced, because we wanted to get out, we wanted to meet people. So most of our friends that we have now are the ones that we made playing pickleball, believe it or not. So, and that was perfect for us, because we're not really social, outgoing people, extroverts. We're introverts. We're not total introverts, but we're mostly introverts. To us, it was important that we had a mechanism to make friends organically. And pickleball was the perfect solution for that, because you're out there with a group of people and you're playing the game with them and others, and it's kind of rotating, so you kind of rotate through people, and you have a partner. You may or may not know when you start playing, but you know them after you play, because you're learning from them, you're making comments here and there. It's not an in-depth conversation, because you're playing a sport, you're concentrating on what you're doing, and quite frankly, you're out of breath, because you're exerting yourself. So that was perfect for us. We were able to organically talk with people and make friends. And then in between the matches, you sat down and rested in an area, and then you just have these natural conversations about what's going on in your life. Where did you come from? Where did you retire from? Where in the community do you live? And things like that. And so then you go back to playing the game again, and you might be playing with somebody new. And that worked really well for us. We made so many friends right away. And again, they weren't, because COVID was still in the forefront, you didn't like hang out with each other except for the outdoor sports, because you were in an outdoor area. So that let us make friends slowly, I should say, slowly, and really get to see them on a daily basis if we wanted. The pickleball was available every day. You could go play every day. They would reach out to you and say, hey, we're going to play in an hour. Would you like to play? So we really made those friendships. That was really important to us, and what drove us to move into the community that we moved into. Now, I just want to say, I know this isn't for everyone. I have my daughter-in-law's father moved here from Pennsylvania after his wife had passed away, and he was looking for more of a quiet existence. So he looked at a 55-plus community that was one of the first ones ever developed here in the Valley, called Sun City, Arizona. And that was perfect for him, because they didn't have a lot of amenities. The HOA fees reflected that, so they were minimal HOA fees, which mainly took care of common areas. But where he moved, the whole community, the whole area and surrounding neighborhoods is all based around seniors and 55-plus seniors. So you have golf cart accessible restaurants, grocery stores, doctor's appointments, the hospital. So if you're not wanting to drive everywhere, you can easily take your golf cart. Where we are, the golf carts are restricted to our community. You can't really go outside the community with them. It's not allowed there. But in Sun City, the whole development, commercial development and supporting infrastructure is for seniors. And Sun City was built, I believe it was like in the early 1960s. So it has that look to it. It's not really more of the modern look like some of the newer active adult communities are. And although they say that's an active adult community, it's not really a structured active adult community. There are several golf courses around there, and they can take their golf cart from their house to the golf court. So they do have those kind of things, and I think they even have a community center that has pickleball in it, indoor and exterior pickleball, which, it's interior pickleball is great in Arizona because, the summers here are just unbearable and there's not a lot of people playing except early in the morning and then after the sun sets. So having indoor pickleball is a great accommodation for people in the summertime. So anyways, that was perfect for him. Looking at the active adult community, we knew that we were going to be paying higher HOA fees, and we were okay with that because the fees matched the amenities that were being offered. So that was the third final change, pivotal change in my retirement, is getting out, living the lifestyle we thought we were going to get to live, and enjoying our environment, making friends, having that social interaction, having the social structured events that we could attend. My sister and I, we went downtown. They got a bus, took us downtown. We were able to see the Wizard of Oz Broadway play, and then they brought us back. We didn't have to worry about driving downtown, getting in and out of traffic, parking, paying for parking, all that. It was an all-inclusive fee that we purchased the ticket, and that got us downtown, see the show, they pick us up, and they get us home, which was great. That would be the way I would advise anybody to do it if you're going to live far out. We're kind of far out from the city, probably at least an hour from the airport and 30 to 40 minutes from any major shopping or major restaurants. So it works really well in a structured community like this to have those lifestyle coordinators make those events available to you. They do baseball events where they take you downtown to go to the baseball games. They also do out-of-state events. They have trips to Mexico, which is fairly close to Arizona. So it's not, you take a day to get down there. They put you up in a hotel. You do some structured things, and then they bring you back. So you're not gone for weeks on end or anything like that. They also have concerts here where they bring in tribute bands. And we've enjoyed going to those where the whole community purchases a ticket if you want. You come out, you meet in an outdoor area and enjoy the tribute bands. And they have food and they have beverages. They have, like I said, structured sports leagues where you can come out and watch people play, pickleball. You can watch them do a tournament. They have cornhole. They have bocce ball, which is really big here. I've never played bocce ball, but those people, they know how to have fun. You can hear them hooting and hollering and just applauding each other and just really having a very supportive interaction. And those are the kind of things that active adults really want to participate in. As I said, also, there's 2 restaurants here in our community, and there's one right outside the gate. So there's a lot of gatherings going on there, happy hours once a week. They have a great menu. They have chefs that run the menus and change the menu up. So every week you get an announcement saying, here's what's new. And a lot of people, that's what we want to do. We don't really want to leave necessarily. And as I said, a lot of the restaurants are 30 to 40 minutes away. So it's so convenient to have that amenity here on site where we could get in our golf cart, drive down to the restaurant and get what we want and have a nice meal like you would pay for at a really nice restaurant. They have everything from chicken fingers to fish fry to steak, trout, salmon, you name it. They've got a variety that fits everyone. They have great pizza menus where they'll have a pizza and wine deal. And some of it's even where you can just pick it up and take it home. You don't even have to eat there. And they still do that. That's one of the things I'm grateful for, that you can still order it and go pick it up and bring it home and eat it. You don't have to go into the cafe or to the restaurant to eat. You don't have to worry about leaving a tip. You can just manage your meal yourself because it's like 2 seconds away. It's still warm when you get it home. The other thing is, because we moved out where we are, we're surrounded by the Sonoran Desert. There wasn't a lot of buildup commercially, but that's happening. That's coming now. So we've got some newer restaurants coming in. We've got, and I would say they're within 7-10 minutes is the furthest one away that I would say is part of our community. But they're bringing in different restaurants and they're expanding the different amenities that are offered outside of the community. And we have doctors, we have a hospital, we have urgent care, we have dentists. Everything you need is right here, so we can kind of stay up here where we are. And one of the main things that we chose to move up here, which was evident during COVID, is fresh air. I mean, because people weren't driving to work, the air cleared. Downtown Phoenix, the pollution just lifted. It was just beautiful to see clear sky. But living up where we live right now, it's always clear sky because we're away from all the traffic. We're away from the most of the population. So eventually I'm sure it'll catch up to us because that's just part of growth. But right now it's fresh air. It's clear skies. You can look up at night and see the stars. There's not a lot of noise pollution, light pollution. It's just a beautiful place to live, and you can sit outside and enjoy that, enjoy nature. So anyways, those are the three things that changed in my life in 10 years of retirement. And I got to say that the first 5 years, I didn't feel like I was retired. And then the 2 years of COVID, it was just scary for everybody. So, couldn't really enjoy retirement because you didn't really know what was going to happen. What's going to happen with the world, and am I going to need to go back to work and pay for things? And, everything just was in chaos. But the last 3 years of my retirement, I would say I've gotten to embrace retirement and enjoy retirement. And it is what I thought it would be, what I hoped it would be, what we work for. My parents always said, work hard now, retire, and enjoy life. And now I'm enjoying life. A good 3 years of enjoying life. And I got to say, I wish that for everyone. While you're young, work hard, put your money away, but enjoy life too. You got to reward yourself along the way so you don't burn out. But once you retire, it will be what you thought it would be. It will be exactly the rest you wanted, the ability to set your own schedule. And for some people, that's the major point right there, is setting your own schedule. And believe me, that is so relaxing, and it helps you spiritually just relax and let go of the stress of life and the stress of having to report to somebody and answer to other people. And let's face it, we all have to answer to people in your community, your spouse, your loved ones. But it's different when you can set the tone and you can set your priorities. And I just wish that for everyone. So I just want to thank you for joining me on this. I'm going to try to post every week and try to expand what I talk about, not just my community, but Arizona is the 55 plus capital of the world, I believe, besides Florida. But Arizona is where people come to retire, and it's beautiful here. And I would love to share that with you. If there's a place you want to see or a community you want me to explore, I'll be more than happy to go out there and take a look at it. I've looked at a lot of them when we were researching. So there's different amenities out there. There's different lifestyle choices out there. And there's a 55 plus community to fit everybody. Whether it's a mobile home park, a single family living unit, an active adult community, jam-packed full of amenities, there's something for everyone. So again, thank you for joining me. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're living, what you think your retirement should look like, whether you're enjoying your retirement, and let's just keep the conversation going. So please follow me. I hate it when people say press the like button, but let me know if you like this video. Leave a comment about something else you want me to talk about, and I'll see you real soon.